And we're back. Nocturnal Duck here with a brand new kind of deck tech for you. Basically what this one is the deck I'm going to try and build as soon as this new set drops. It is basically a King's Feast deck where I'm doing 100% build around food tokens and the Feasting Troll King. Now, I know all the spoilers haven't been dropped, and I also know I can't test this, so I'm just going to show you the cards that I am keen to build with this, and then I'm going to tinker with it when it drops, and I'm keen to sort of have a bit of back and forth with you guys, and you guys can tell me if there's anything I'm missing or a good idea for it. So let's start from the beginning. Basically, I have a Witch's Oven, which is a 1-drop artifact, and you tap it to sacrifice a creature, create a food token, and if the creature's toughness was 4 or greater, you create 2 food tokens. Pretty straightforward, really, and I just love that it's the oven. So the idea is I'm the chef in the kitchen, surrounded by all these ovens, and I'm just cooking a big feast for the king. Our next one is the Cauldron Familiar. And this one is a 1-drop, and when it enters the battlefield, the opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life, and you can sacrifice a food and return him from the graveyard to the battlefield, so then getting another drain and gain. So he's going to happen throughout the entire game, and we're definitely going to have enough food to continuously do that. We obviously also have Gilded Goose. This is a 1-drop flyer, a 0/2, and when it enters the battlefield, create a food token. Then you may pay 1 and a green to tap it, sacrifice a food token. Tap it, pay 2 and create a food token. Then you can tap it and sacrifice a food token, add 1 mana of any colour. So that will actually come into play a lot, that mana climb. Trail of Crumbs, this comes in and creates a food token, and whenever you sacrifice a food, you may pay 1, and if you do, look at the top 2 cards. Reveal a permanent card from among them, put them into your hand, the rest at the bottom, any order. So this is going to happen a lot through the game. We're going to be sacrificing food a lot. So that's amazing. The appetite here is basically a combat trick, so we'll be able to just throw it onto a Gilded Goose, make it a 4 or whatever, and onto the Familiar, making it a 4. But it'll also come down the line where we can sacrifice a food and make it a 5, so that'll make the Gilded Goose and the Familiar 6/6s, which is pretty crazy. But also for the King, which is a 7, that's pretty insane attack, so that's in here for pretty obvious reasons. Then we have Curious Pair. I'm a little bit on the fence about this, but I like the idea of paying 1, getting a food token, then paying another 2, creating this guy, tapping my oven and getting another food token if he's going to die, or whatever, he's going to be a chump blocker. But I do like the idea of getting a food from him and then a food from the Witch's Oven. I think that's pretty good. So that's why I've got him in here, or the 2. Oko, this guy is here for big time obvious reasons, +2 and create a food token. Then you can +1 and create, target artifact or creature loses all abilities and becomes a green creature with a base power of 3/3, an elk creature, sorry. So we'll be able to just +1 and turn one of our food tokens into a 3/3, which is pretty crazy awesome. And then we can -5 and exchange one of our food tokens for one of their creatures, as long as it's power 3 or less, which is another amazing move for him. So he's a really good sort of middle ground for the deck. Comes in late game, pull a few sort of shenanigans, but yeah, I really feel like he can glue it all together. Our Gluttonous Troll, this guy is a 4-drop creature, 3/3 with trample, and when he enters the battlefield, he'll only make 1 food token, which is still okay. And then you can sacrifice a non-land permanent, and he gets +2/+2 till end of turn, and that costs you 1 and a green. So that's pretty damn good. We're going to be sacrificing food. We can just feed him some of the food. Here's some pies or bread or whatever, and he'll just get buffed and buffed and buffed, and with trample, that's pretty solid, right? Like, I think we've got some big attackers already. Bake into a pie, obviously straight removal piece, nice and clean, and then create a food token, so another food for us. Fantastic news. So next we have our Big Bad Wolf. This guy is going to be pretty much indestructible for most of the game, as long as he can stick around. We have a pretty decent synergy with this guy, when he enters the battlefield, it fights. So basically you can bring him in, make him fight something, and I think you'll be able to sacrifice a food and put a 1/1 counter on as he fights, but I'm not 100% sure. I think he's going to be pretty rock solid. He will be growing the whole game, right? So we can sacrifice food, make him grow, and that's pretty decent because we're going to be getting a lot of life as well. So then we go into Bognaughty. It's a 5-drop 3/3 flyer, and it has pay 3, 2 and a black. Sacrifice a food, target creature gets -3/-3. So he's a nice little removal piece for us, and we're going to have enough food to be able to do him easy. So he's amazing. Then we have Gurk. He's in here to sort of do a lot of work, even though he has nothing to do with food. Basically, he's going to bring out the 2 wolves. We're going to sacrifice, we'll tap the oven, sacrifice one of the wolves, put another counter on him, and then we can ultimate him next turn. And by doing that, we get the emblem where creatures get +3/+3 and have trample. Insane. We're already going to have pretty big hitters, but then it makes our King Troll a 10/10 with trample. So I feel like we're going to get this emblem in this match. Within a couple of matches, you should definitely get that emblem with the amount of, we could sacrifice both of the wolves and put 2 on him at the end of their turn, kind of thing. So I feel like this is definitely going to help the deck a lot. The -3 is just straight removal, so that's good, but obviously we're trying to ultimate him to sort of boost our deck. And then here is the whole build around. Feasting Troll King, which has a heavy dedication to green, 4 green, but our Gilded Goose should hopefully help us smooth out our mana there to get him out. When he comes down, he brings with him 3 food tokens. And then when he dies, you can sacrifice 3 food tokens and bring him from the graveyard to the battlefield. So he'll only make 3 food tokens when you cast him, which is okay, because we're always going to have food tokens. So even if he gets countered, or we return him from the graveyard to the battlefield once, we should automatically still have 3 food tokens. So I think he's going to be practically, hexproof through the game, minus any exiling. And with Vigilance and Trample, if we get 1 Guru emblem, that's a 10/10 trample. With the Appetite, we can add 5 to it if we sacrifice a food token. So there's going to be some really big heavy hitting things. We're also going to be able to just turn a food into a 3/3 and then Appetite onto that, making that like 5, what's that, 8/8. We'll be able to swing with 8/8s, 7/7s, crazy 6/6 flyers. I just feel like it's going to have really big creatures, even though it's based entirely around food tokens. So yeah, that's the whole build so far. I really enjoy the idea of me standing in the kitchen with all of these ovens and cooking things like our goose and our cat, those things will come into the game later. So I just feel like there's going to be a lot. There's obviously cards I'm going to tinker with. There's new cards coming out too, so that I haven't seen. And obviously there's cards that are in the set as well, which will help this along the way. Obviously it doesn't have to be everything food. So these are just the main cards that are standing out to me to build around. So that's pretty much the deck, and if you liked it, let me know in the comments below. If there's anything I can't see, also let me know in the comments. And if there's a deck that you're thinking of and you're keen for me to do, a little video like this for you, then you can hit me up. I'm more than happy to get as many decks brewing ideas going and have that sort of community back and forth. So let me know in the comments if you liked it and if you're keen for something like that. So like, subscribe, comment, and until next time, Nocturnal Dugout.